Don't get in its way. Set it up, choose your audience, choose your creative, and let it run. Then don't tinker with it. Let it be, allow the data to flow through.
Step number 3, where I'm going to ask Nick exactly how to get people to buy. Now you know how to create the ads, how do you get people to buy? So what are the common things that people get wrong when they're trying to, get people to become a lead, like an email subscriber or a lead, or a buyer using Facebook ads?
So they either think Facebook is just some sort of generic tool that they can keep repurposing the same exact message and just change target. Go from one interest to the next interest, go from one lookalike to the next lookalike, but the actual message is not any different. The ad is the same. That's a huge miss, because if a consumer doesn't know about your product and saw one ad, and then now they're familiar with you, and then they get the same exact ad communicating the same exact message the next time, but they haven't really been to your website, and then they get the same ad again after they've been to the website, what do they know about you? They don't know anything about you. They don't know what you're doing or how you're positioning or how you're different. That is the largest miss, is they don't look at the whole funnel. They don't see Facebook as a prospecting tool to find new customers. They don't think of it as a tool to re-engage with a different piece of content or a different offer. And then finally, they don't use it as that driver, that call to action. The reason why you're buying is because I saw this, and this is the action it wanted me to take.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's a big one. I didn't think about that, but it's like what we were talking about before. It's a game of angles, and you need to use different creatives to resonate with different audiences, or the same audience but different creatives to resonate and get that cut through, and keep alternating that. When you talk about kind of Facebook and doing its job, and you have to let Facebook do its job, what do you mean by that?
This is, if I could stand on any soapbox, this would be the main message I do. Facebook is smarter than us. Facebook, the machine, Facebook, the AI, is much smarter than us, people that are dialing into it. So what we want it to do, why they created the CBO, campaign budget optimization, and the ability to retarget and remarket, don't get in its way. Set it up, choose your audience, choose your creative, and let it run. Then don't tinker with it. Let it be, allow the data to flow through.
Yeah, interesting. So I guess it's safe to say that, like, I was just thinking about it then, you have basically tested every single function, every single thing you could ever imagine on Facebook ads, and you've spent so much money that you've kind of pushed to limits, and then also pushed every direction like that you could go in all these different ways, and over time you've probably realized you can do all these crazy tactics and complicated hacks, but really it's about kind of keeping things simple, because simple is what scales, and it's actually probably about doing less, especially as you want to scale and grow your agency, right, and be able to service many more clients. You need to keep things simple as you train your team. And that's an often times like a common misconception. People think when you need to scale a business, you need to do more. And when it comes to scale, it's actually about simplicity and keeping things simple.
You're absolutely correct there. You want to have people, your teammates, the brand you work for, understand what it is that's happening. It's not uncommon for someone to come, whether it's a teammate or it's a brand, and go, okay, I'm excited for all the new strategies and hacks. We get this all the time. I do a talk on stage, or someone comes to me like, what's new, what's the latest? And I don't really dazzle them, because I'm not doing the latest manual bid or massive crazy name of like bully budgets or the sniper method. I'm just telling them, we're gonna do great media buying. We're gonna create content that has clear angles, benefits, hooks, and calls to actions. And we're gonna make sure that we're making educated decisions based upon the data that it tells us. And then they go, oh, okay, because you're running a real business. You're not running something that's, oh, it's okay, we had 100 sales yesterday, we have 0 today. It's okay, thank you. No, we need consistency, predictability, and a repeatable system. That's really all we ever want.
Yeah, love it. So tell me, like, how do you get people buying from ads on Facebook? Let's talk about like kind of like Facebook as a funnel, because that's a concept that people are not often familiar with.
So I think people are familiar with what a funnel generally is, but let's talk about a funnel specifically on Facebook and how we structure it. It really is 3 different buckets of content. The first is prospecting or top of funnel. New consumers. We're prospecting and we're looking for new people that aren't familiar with my product or service or brand. Then that would be broad audiences, interest audiences, lookalikes, those that aren't familiar with what we're doing, and we're trying to peacock, for lack of a better term, to get them in to see what we're about and what we have to offer. As soon as they start to get familiar, maybe they engage with us, maybe they're following us on Instagram, liking us on Facebook, then we get into the re-engagement phase. This phase, they're not necessarily floating around and jumping into our website, but they are aware of what we are. They are aware of what we're doing. So we call this our re-engagement. That's those that liked an ad, saved a post, watched a video. Any of these engagement on platform areas is our re-engagement audiences. They're a little bit warmer, but they're not hot enough to maybe take action. And then you go a little bit further down, and now we're in the remarketing stage. Out of remarketing, these are those that have done all the previous, liked, saved, followed, etc. But now they're landing on a homepage or on an opt-in form, or they've downloaded your book, or they've signed up for a call. They're taking further actions off of a Facebook-owned platform. And now you're able to build that micro funnel in the remarketing of how deep did they really get in my funnel? Until they make that purchase, you don't really get into the retention or the relighting of the campaign of those that potentially bought from you. That way of thinking about it, we can start to identify, and it opens up so many doors to know, where do I diagnose? Where do I make changes? Do I need to have better click-throughs, better return at the top of the funnel? Or are we really actually, no, we're okay with that. We're okay with that cost to acquire customers on new customers because those are valuable. Those are our bloodline to the growth of the business versus bottom of funnel. What do we need to fix there? So it'll identify itself as they start working their way through it.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, look, that makes sense. And I'd love to just delve one little bit deeper is, why is it important to break down those stages and steps when it comes to Facebook ads and like really getting more customers and making your Facebook ads work?
Because each part of the funnel is going to require a different amount of budget. What do I mean by this? Is that prospecting, primarily to those that are serious about growing their business, is going to take at least 60 to 80% of our overall time and budget. That's where we're testing angles, audiences, creative types, positioning, and pages, right? But you're going to be spending a little bit less because the return's significantly more on the re-engaging remarketing level. Now, I'm not saying you neglect it, but it's just not going to get the foresight. It's not going to get the attention it always is going to require, because it doesn't get all the tests that are running. Should it get tests? Sure, but not as much as where we are top of funnel, because we still got to bring the people in.
Yep. So when it comes to the different stages from prospecting to re-engagement to remarketing, it's people that are at different stages of the buying journey, and you need to have different creative and messages depending on that stage.
Absolutely. As long as we're ushering and shepherding them down towards where we want them to be, which is ultimately the place where they can take action at the bottom of the funnel.
Got you. Awesome. So can you tell us about the MGD method? What is it? Why does it matter? How is it algorithm proof?
Sure. So it's not based upon the algorithm, because it's all decisions based upon what's happening in your business and your business goals. So the algorithm, all it's going to tell us is where to spend, how to up budgets, where to change it. But the MGD method, make good decisions, is a template, is a sheet, is a framework around when you should increase all of your budgets or when you should turn your budgets off, because it's all based upon the metrics that Facebook's telling us. It's telling us, hey, you can accept this dollar amount for step 1, because all the step 1s are eventually going to turn into your step 2, your add to cart, your initiate checkouts, and we're able to accept this cost here because we've already given it what our AOV is and what our overall general conversion rates are. It's a simple dashboard setup, an exportation of that setup, and a couple of inputs on what our ROAS target is, which, how do we get our ROAS target? Well, we set it because it's based upon our margin and our business goals, right? So all these inputs that we as business owners put into it, and then allow the decision-making or the gates for us to make those decisions upon, do the decision-making for us. All we have to do is make sure we load up the correct campaigns, we structure cleanly in the ad account. I can't stress cleanliness enough. Thus, those of us that are in so many of these, it has to be clean. And that way, we can understand the data to make clear decisions. It really isn't as sexy as I'm making it, but the MGD is making money, because I don't want you to light money on fire, man. That is the one thing that we want to get away from. Stop lighting on a fire and know why you're doing what you're doing. Campaign planning to campaign decision making. It turns into campaign profitability.
Hope you're loving our videos and that you're getting heaps of value from them. If you are, make sure to hit the like button and make sure to subscribe to join the Foundr fam. If you did enjoy this video and want to continue to master your skills, make sure you click here to access your free training now, where we'll go into way more depth with this Foundr.